we found out one issue. And that issue is that our R8 doesn't start. What if I told you I only paid $34,000 for this 5,000 mile 2010 Audi R8? But there's a little catch. It was flooded. When I came to pick up the car from Copart, someone had stolen the key, which made this rebuild a million times more difficult. After calling out my locksmith 5 times, we were finally here. Smoking really bad. Oh my gosh. Stupidest mistake in the world. I never thought I would do something like this. So we found out that the locksmith is not the issue to the vehicle. The guy can make a key. He's made tons of Audi R8 keys, and this one here just broke his head. And the reason for that all is because we have a communication issue, which makes this entire rebuild process 10 times funner. I'm just gonna put it like that, because I'm not a master in like electronics or anything like that when it comes to a car, so I don't really know how to scan the entire CAN bus system and see what kind of module, what kind of ground, or what kind of what is giving us the issue. In 5 seconds, we try to program a key and it kicks us out of the immobilizer. Basically, we scan the car. One time it will show 10 error codes, next time it will show 15, next time it will show 5, next time it will show 10, next time. Basically, it's very inconsistent and you can't do anything. We can't even do emo off to start the car. We can't do anything. So we're kind of screwed. One thing though, I know that Volkswagen and Audi should start up without a key, meaning it can start, but it will die because the emo is not programmed to the key. So that's another question. Why doesn't it start? We're gonna start digging. Where's the flood line? What's going on with the car? First thing we're gonna do is pull this out right here and see if we can find any kind of hint of absolutely anything. So let's do it. To be honest though, I got a little head start. I took these off already because I am very impatient. All right, well, I just discovered something. So I pulled this toolkit out from the bottom, and look at that. We got rust on the jack. That's actually a very good sign, to be honest, because that might give us some clues. All right, let's check it out. No way was this thing actually in water. I feel like I'm the only person in the world that gets excited about finding a water line in their R8. Ah. Oh my gosh. There's a water line right there. That's like a clear, vivid water line. This is down here. Okay, so the water line is in the middle of this. The water line is just right here. That is very low. That is incredibly low. But hang on, there's a terminal right here. Where does that go to? Somebody asked me about this terminal. They said that it could not start because of this. Okay, let's check this out. Look at that. Definitely water. I might have found something. So check this out. The jack was right here and the water covered this. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, clean this connection, and see what it does. That's kind of gross though. Look at all this salt. Like, things are finally making sense, because if the car was completely dry and not starting and having all these issues, is a bigger problem than having a sign of water and not starting, because now I kind of know, oh, there's a water line. Maybe we can check the TCU, which is the transmission computer, what's going on with the CAN bus system. Let's get that sorted out first. So the plan now is to clean all these connections and put it back on. So. All right, so we got it all cleaned up. You can see that, you can see that. Washer is cleaned up. It was pretty disgusting. Look at the size here. I'll get a probably picture because you can't really tell. So also I cleaned up inside there, that connection. So it's solid now for sure. I wanna make sure that ECUs are back on before we try to crank them. And as you guys can tell, we split them to make sure they're not bad. So they're not bad. We were thinking that they're bad because of inconsistencies. We have a unprogrammed key right here, completely unprogrammed. This is just a key. The locksmith said that Volkswagen and Audi has to start with a unprogrammed key and then it will die. So Honestly, I have zero faith in this thing starting. Like, there's no way a stupid little ground can actually make this vehicle start. I'm honestly doing this because like 5 people commented and said, check the ground. Are you ready for this? This is just, I don't believe this right now. I don't even, okay, let's see. I hear the fuel pump. See, I told you. Oh, hang on. Has to be maybe neutral or something. What? You're freaking lying. There's no way. Yo, this motor is good. Did you see if it smoked or anything? Or was it fine? No. What the heck? Yo. What in the world? Let me see. It's not starting anymore. See? Okay, but it cranks. What the heck? What? This car is literally a puzzle. Like, I'm so confused right now. One more for good measure. I don't believe this right now. Let's go. Let's go. It's alive! Woo! I can't believe that. I can't believe that. So, I have to check all the grounds now. I have to check right now if there's consistencies with scanning the codes, and if there is, locksmith's gonna come out and he's gonna scan everything. But regardless, I'm gonna call him and tell him to come. And so he did. He came out again. I think this was like the 4th or 5th time. Honestly, I lost count by now, but huge shout out to Victor for not giving up on me. We went to scan the car and we were stuck with the same inconsistent readings. I have no idea why I thought that this was gonna be the end of this struggling journey, but it wasn't. I was so sure I fixed the car with that simple ground trick because that kind of makes sense. Bad ground, bad communication, but I guess we have more troubleshooting to do. Sorry, Victor, we will see each other another day soon once I actually fix the communication with the vehicle. We're back to square one. Why isn't there solid communication with the car? Why? I have no idea. Let me show you guys. All right, so auto scan. Fault scan. This is gonna take a while. You know, I think about it right now, the old owner, if he had the key and he had this issue, then it's fine, because he could have just started the car and that's it, and it still ran. But I can't code a key because it's not connecting fully. All right, so look at this. So we got 15 fault codes. Engine module 1 was found, TCM was found, which is the transmission one, and then immobilizer was found. Okay, so this did a pretty good scanning. Engine control module 2, no response. 15 DTCs. What we're gonna do is go ahead and fault scan it again without doing anything. Okay, so the DTCs here are the same, they're 15, but it found completely different things. Look, it found the engine control module 2, so incorrect key, so it found it. Immobilizer found, and transmission, it didn't find. So let's do it one more time. Well, this time it's 16, and it found a transmission, found ECU 1, ECU 2, it found it, immobilizer found it, and gateway, no response. Well, there you guys have it. 3 readings, completely inconsistent. I'm just confused to a point where, I don't know. I'm extremely happy because the vehicle started. So I know it's a good motor. There's compression, there's no bent rods or anything like that. But I'm confused. Why I can't get communication? It started up, the locksmith was out again, and he couldn't make the key. 5th time he came out, the 5th time. This feels horrible. I think my only other option right now is to actually get an ignition switch, 2 ECUs, gateway, BCM, and just everything that has to do with the coding of the key. And that way, once we have that, we can start the car and then start diagnosing it from there. Because right now, we can't even program the key, so. It was at this point, I just wanted to quit. I just wanted to give up. But I knew giving up would do nothing. So I ordered all the parts and they came in, and I thought, let me start with the most simplest thing. Let's change this gateway module. Right before this, I was cleaning the entire garage and getting ready to strip this car. But we started getting consistent readings. We're putting the original cluster back on, and I think we've repaired our communication error. Could it be that $40 part? Let's find out right now. I'm super pumped and super excited because, first of all, Victor's been here his 6th time, which is kind of absurd. And let's see what this does. I may have purchased this entire box of ECUs and a whole entire ignition or a steering column here for no reason. All right, so my original cluster just went back on, and it was pitch black. Why was it pitch black?
Oh, well, when I tried to write back the email data, the EEPROM, original EEPROM back to the cluster, well, it wasn't a miscommunication between the gateway. That's why the cluster went back and never came back on.
Okay.
It wasn't enough communication between the gateway and the cluster.
So it was enough to get it black, but it wasn't enough to turn it back on.
Yeah.
So look at this. My original 5,600 miles are back. We had a second cluster from a 08 R8, which is a red cluster. Look different this one, but I think this is it, yo.
There's something better.
Let's see.
Read email data.
Okay. Success.
We got the email data, and we're ready to get the key on.
You're lying. No freaking way. I can't even believe this right now. A $40 part. You know what's crazy is that Victor here, he called it. Dude, honestly, I'm gonna tag your stuff down here. If you guys are in Florida, Tampa area, hit up Vic, because this guy is one of the locksmiths that actually not only comes out, but he actually helps, and he helped me diagnose. He's been out here 6 times. I've been through a lot of locksmiths. A lot of people just come, they look, they say, oh, it's flooded, we don't want to touch it. Oh, it doesn't work on the first time, they mess up computers and they leave and forget about you. That's not what this guy did. Like, huge shout out. Like, honestly, that's amazing.
So happy.
By the way, when that cluster went off, we were kind of tripping out, and Victor actually said that he would pay for a cluster, which is crazy because like that cluster is like $1,000. So that's some good customer service right there. The safe is gone.
Wait, Cooper wants to jump in.
Get in there, buddy. All right, ready? Let's go. No freaking way! Yo, chill. Woo! Freaking runner. Yo! It sounds healthy. Yo, we freaking did it. Give it to me. Yes. Can you guys believe it? 6 times. 6 freaking times this guy was out here breaking his head. Oh my gosh. A $40 gateway module, which was previously bad, somehow probably went bad again with a new battery, because I've read some forums, people saying that the gateway module goes bad with a new battery. ECU modules go bad with the new battery, things like that. I mean, it's the older R8, so electronics are a little finicky, but we freaking did it.
Got it.
We did it. That's it. Where the haters at now, huh? Hydro-locked. Ain't hydro-locked, it runs. I'm mind blown. I don't know. This is crazy. For this much money, this kind of a car with 5,600 miles, I don't know. Pretty crazy. So Vic is gonna go ahead and assemble this cluster, and I don't know what to do with all these parts here. we bought like $3,000 worth of parts just to diagnose the car, and right before this, I was ready to tear up the entire carpet and everything. And I was like, let's just check this gateway. It's a $40 part, who knows? And bam, we did it. While Victor was reassembling the cluster, I got around to reassembling the driver kick panel right where that gateway module was. We got everything put back together and it looked beautiful and OEM. Well, it is our time to say goodbye to Victor. What do I owe you?
It's $350.
$350?
You paid already for all the time before.
Yeah, okay, so we gotta tip the guy because this guy came out way too often and he helped us out so much. Let's do $650. Oh, no, not 6.5. That's gonna be too much. What's your Cash App? All right, let's go. We're done. All right, Vic.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you once again.
Oh man, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, We have a lot more work to do though. Victor's gonna go, but we have to reseal the ECUs, put everything back together before we can take it for our first test spin.
And the remote key.
And we're gonna go to his shop and he's gonna give me an extra key with a remote. So we have a blank and then he's gonna give me another key. So super pumped. Let's get this all reassembled. First order of operation is changing the oil. So we're gonna find out right now how bad is the oil inside this car. That's like $120 worth of oil. Let's get this thing cranked up, take a better look underneath and change the oil. I hope it's not too complicated. We'll figure it out. Let's go. Here, I was looking up how to change the oil on an Audi R8. I don't feel too dumb because there is 4 drain plugs and this isn't your typical oil change. As you guys can see here, the oil looked brand new and perfect, so I decided not to change it. But something extremely scary just happened. I don't know if you guys can tell by my face, but I'm freaked out. I have to confess, I literally thought I just seized this motor. Let me show you guys my search history currently on Google. How to determine if your engine has too much oil. Can too much oil seize the engine? And on eBay, I was looking for new motors. Ooh. Oh my gosh, stupidest mistake in the world. I never thought I would do something like this, but this has a oil sump.
The engines in Audi R8 vehicles use dry sump lubrication. The engine's oil supply is not kept in the sump pan, but in a separate oil tank. The oil dipstick is on the oil tank. If the engine has been off for a while, the oil from the oil tank may flow back into the engine. For this reason, a special procedure must be followed when checking the engine oil level.
The car stood for 3 months, the dipstick showed minimal oil on it, like low oil. So I added about 2-3 quarts of oil. Turns out my dumb head overfilled this oil like crazy, and it started smoking like crazy, which I was thinking I'm gonna change the oil, but I'm like, okay, there's no reason to change it because this oil change was literally like a month ago. Sorry, 1,000 miles ago, not a month ago. And I just drained just about how much oil I put in there, and it was like, or right before this, it was like, and not starting. I may have just seized the motor. Listen to this. Doesn't want to start. Look at that. Put a jump box on. And I think what ended up happening was there was oil in the pistons, and then that's why it was not running, but hallelujah. Woo, look at that. Woo. All right, well, I gotta drain a little bit more oil and make sure the oil is a good level because this freaked me out. Here I had the extra oil drained out and the car was ready to warm up, and I was hoping that the smoke would clear. Smoking really bad. All right, hopefully it chills out because, oh, there it is. Now she's running smooth. This is scary. This is scary. I can't see anything in my garage. A couple of neighbors came down, thought my house was on fire, so I knew I had to leave the neighborhood. I was hoping that if I take a little drive, that all the smoke would clear. But I was still so scared. Outside of our smoking issue, this thing runs really, really good. Feels super tight on H&R coilovers. We got it up to operating temps. It's not overheating, nothing funny. It's running perfect, but it's still smoking a little bit. I'm afraid that I blew the motor, and we're probably gonna need a rebuild or something. Very, very stupid mistake. Very stupid, costly mistake. So we'll see what this does. Hopefully it's not blown, and hopefully it's just oil inside the pistons or something. I don't know. Got no smoke now. So we're up to temps and everything's good. And let's go. Oh my gosh. Dude, this is crazy. I never thought I would say this, but my opinion on the Audi R8 RS3 Audi R8 Gen 1 has significantly changed. I have always thought that these cars are poorly engineered and kind of just a janky car. But after driving this one, which is the first R8 Gen 1 I've ever driven in my life, my opinion has significantly changed to a point where a lot better. I actually enjoy driving this car a lot. I've driven it for about 30 minutes and it was by far one of the funner cars I've driven in a long time. The transmission, how it feels, how it switches gears, how it delivers power and all that stuff is very, very cool. And it feels like kind of like an exotic, right? I mean, that's kind of the idea, but it doesn't feel like a regular 4.2 V8 in a Audi A6 or whatever other car. The way it delivers power and everything is very awesome, so I love it, and I'm hoping I didn't blow the motor. We have to do a couple more things before we can wash this filthy pig behind us, because this thing is extremely dirty. But we gotta seal the ECUs and put them back in their spot, because if we don't seal them, then we're gonna have a non-start engine again on this vehicle, so we don't want that. I'm hoping that the engine is fine and I didn't do any damage, because right now it's not smoking or steaming or anything. So let's get those ECUs sealed up. Well, the goal for the ECUs is pretty straightforward. What we gotta do is make sure any water stays out. What we're doing here is prepping the cover, taking the old glue off, because we wanna get the best waterproof possible. Getting a new layer of this heat and water resistant silicone stuff. Put the new cap on just like this. Boom, peanut butter and jelly. Make sure you're wiping off the access all around so it looks pretty. Put the bolts back in, make sure they're torqued down. Any extra seam seal that comes out, wipe it down, make it look clean, and then get this little crack up in here and we are finished. I have no idea about your guys' ECUs, but I know one thing for a fact. Mine is not getting any water in there, that's for sure. Sealed, seam sealed, caulked, whatever you want to call it. It's dead bolted. It's in there. This part here was a little tricky. First, we had to put the ECUs on, then this little metal security casing over the top of it. Make sure all that is tight, and only then we can put the ECUs back in their spot. So it's been off for about 2 hours since I was gluing the ECU, and I want to see if I can start it up and see if it'll smoke or not, because maybe it'll start smoking since the motor's cooled off and the oil got less thick, you know. We don't have any smoke. So we got the ECUs glued in, and that's all finished and done. I put a thick layer, make sure no water gets in there, because I am beyond scared of having this engine not start again. Right now what we gotta do is take off all this goo right here. I'm still deadly scared to close the car with the doors, or sorry, with the windows fully up, because first of all, the cylinder doesn't work for the actual metal key, and then the electronic thing doesn't work. So we're gonna have to diagnose that in the next episode. But let's get this thing cleaned up. Let's take it outside and show you guys what it looks like in the bright, beautiful sun of Florida. Over here, I'm using a little bit of glass cleaner to make sure this residue that I'm taking off gets nice and damp, makes it much easier to remove. Also, get a brand new razor blade and be very, very careful. You don't want to be left with some deep gouges on your fingers. Don't ask me how I know. The car's looking so much better without these Copart markings. It almost looks brand new. I've been driving this car for the past 30-40 minutes, and this smile on my face is just not coming off. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. The way it switches gears is actually so cool. I just can't. I want to show you guys what it looks like on the outside, and oh my, I am so excited, so happy. I hope you guys went on this emotional roller coaster with me, because ooh, I was so scared that that motor is gone. I was 100% sure the motor is gone. I'm thinking right now what happened is there was too much oil in the top of the piston and just too much compression. It couldn't turn it over, but never again am I making that stupid mistake. Woo! Boys, we got an R8 for 30, like 35K total with the key and everything. Can you guys, oh my goodness. Woo! Take a look at this thing. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe it. I only paid 35K for this thing, finished and done with all the paperwork and everything. This is crazy. We still have a couple of things to address, but we're gonna figure those things out in the next episode, alongside with washing this thing and do the final assembly. But look at that. I love the tint. It makes it look like a spaceship, like literally, look at this. Wow. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I will catch you guys on the next one. I love you guys. Follow my Instagram at BYBTim. There's a $500 cash giveaway, completely free to anyone that subscribes to my Instagram. It's $2.99. On top of that, we're gonna have a lot of fun stuff and potentially a giveaway on the R8. So if you guys are watching this right now, head over to BYBTim Instagram and subscribe, because trust me, it'll be worth it. See you guys on the inside. Peace out.